Sup Tankers, Space Rabbit here with another episode of World of Tanks. And today, we're in the Tier 7 German heavy tank Adler VK4503. So I got this tank out of one of the key cards a while ago. Yes, key cards. That's before the actual war chests. And yeah, it's been just sitting in my garage, so I didn't really have a chance to play it until recently. However, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of impressed with this tank. It doesn't have the best armor, but the fact that it's a tier 7, yes, it is a tier 7, only plays up to tier 9, which means it doesn't see big guns at tier 10, is actually favorable. And believe it or not, it can bounce some shots. That hull can actually side scrape a little bit. The turret is sort of weak. Turret frontal armor is only 185 millimeters. That means that most of the tier 8s will probably penetrate through the cheeks. So unless you're shooting gun mantle on this tank, you should be able to penetrate frontally with any tier 8 heavy tank pretty much, or anything with penetration over 200. So you have to be careful how you play this. You cannot be up front brawling in this tank unless you're a top tier. Then that's a different story. But everything about this tank is a gun. AP penetration 203 millimeters on standard ammo, and then once you hit that A button on your controller, you get 237 millimeters of penetration, which is again not phenomenal, but it will get you through tier 8. Any frontal armor of heavy tank at tier 8 you should be able to go through with 237 millimeters. The problem will become once you're facing tier 9s and some heavy tanks at tier 9, like E75 for instance. It's going to be problematic to pen, but then you have to play the tank accordingly to what the matchmaking gives you. So in this situation, we're mid-tier, but the team really started off very slowly. It didn't move anywhere. No one was rushing anywhere. No one was taking positions, so I decided to just stay back and snipe here. And in today's episode, what we're gonna do is kind of continue a little bit on the topic of falling back or retreating, but not running away, because I see that so much today in World of Tanks. Like, I haven't played the game a lot lately, to be honest, guys. I've been freaking sick. Actually, during Christmas break, I caught COVID, so I didn't play almost at all. And I was gonna play a few more games, make a few more videos, for which I apologize, guys, but that's the way things work sometimes. I guess my body said no at one point and just let go, and I got sick. It is what it is. Anyway, we're gonna continue on that topic of falling back but not running away. And this game, again, is gonna be a perfect example of us doing that, because we're just not gonna leave our friendlies hanging. We're gonna stay and support them. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. So if you look at the situation now, our team is still distributed pretty well. The problem is we're gonna lose town in a moment, the one line. As you can see, the enemy team has completely overcrowded that area. So I really have to pay attention to one line, because once these guys start spilling onto the field, they will have shots into me from 1 or 2 line over there. So I have to be really careful and try not to get spotted here in this position. I'm still looking for shots into any of the reds coming out of town, like this T29 right there. So we're gonna be putting shells into him and punishing him. Now, our light tank is making a big mistake there. I don't know why he's doing this. Guys, when you play light tanks, your role is so important in this situation. Don't just go in front of all of the enemy guns and kill yourself. Just drop back. I mean, right now, light tank would be so important for me to get vital spots into the field. Yet I don't have a light tank at the moment, and I'm being targeted, and that's what I was talking about. I was afraid of that actually happening, but luckily I escaped without a scratch. And now time for a crucial decision. I could have put one more shot into these guys that are open in the field, but the problem is I had to take under consideration the speed of my tank. If I stayed in that position any longer, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds might have been too long, because I would have been probably overrun. So this is when you have to make executive decision. I am out. Don't be a hero. Don't be trying to put, 2-3 shells into these guys coming in, even though you would punish them, but then you would throw your tank away. So I was already afraid that I ran away a little bit too late, because my tank is not the fastest. As you can see on soft terrain, it goes about 25-26 kilometers per hour. But I did turn to put that building in between myself and the medium tank approaching at position A5. I also turned my turret round to make sure that I have my strongest piece of armor facing whoever is trying to approach from that direction. And I'm going to get myself in a position that is sort of hold down. I'm going to try to look for hold down position here on top of this ridgeline. But I want it to be far enough so that I'm undetected and I can still punish these guys coming in. Again, anticipation is key. Knowing your positioning on the map is key. Put yourself in positions where your gun can be effective, like in this situation here. Now I'm going to struggle a little bit with this armor, because Gornish, with this straw armor, I'm going to have trouble penetrating that guy, because I'm trying to hit that R2-D2 cupola on his front hull, but that thing is so troll, you actually have to hit it square in order to penetrate it. Now, another valid point over here. If it was only me remaining here, and I wouldn't have any friendlies, because as you can see here, I'm not alone. I have T28 prototype, who is key actually in this situation, because that tank has armor, and because it has armor, it will take a while for the opposition to actually pen him and get him out of the game. So I'm gonna remain here as long as he's alive. So I have him, and there's a heavy tank which is T29 in position B6, who's also fighting hold down, which is as well advantageous to me. But if these two guys didn't exist, or if one of them died or two of them died, obviously I wouldn't stay here as long as I did, because I would throw my tank away. So as you notice here, my team did fantastic job. T28 prototype did fantastic job as well. He didn't even lose any HP in the process, and we were able to punish all these guys coming through the top. So all of a sudden we're winning this game, even though we're losing it at one point. Anyway, we're gonna try to turn around and get some high ground over here to see if we can spot anything else. Looks like Gornish is making the right play. He came all the way around on this side of the map, and again, you're gonna see me having trouble penetrating his armor here with the Adler, and that is the issue with 237 pen, which penetration drops off over distance as well, because it's an APCR round. So unfortunately we weren't able to put any damaging shots into the Gornish, but now we're gonna try to go after this Diamondback, and he shouldn't be expecting us. We're gonna try to go on his behind, because he's most likely facing RTD that's approaching right now. I should be able to get an easy ass shot into him. Unfortunately, Proto puts a shell into him, so I won't get any damage or much damage from him right here. But we're gonna aim this shot up, making sure that we take him out of the game. Now RD's aiming at us, so we're gonna have to wiggle and get the hell out of dodge. But that gives us a position of the RD. We now know that RD is probably somewhere in position J7, somewhere around there. And Proto has joined us, so we should be able to push this right now. The only thing is, and I don't remember if I did it already or not, we're gonna check what's on the team list to see who's remaining on the position team, because it is very important to check that, guys, to make sure that you're not running into some big camo TD, which in this situation it is actually a thing, because the remaining TD is a Borsig, and Borsig will outspot me pretty much anytime. So once I'm spotted, I have to find a different route. That's what's in my mind right here. If I'm spotted, so I'm gonna peek around this rock right here, and I'm spotted and now targeted, I'm out. Because there's no point pushing this. May as well let our T28 prototype go, because he's got a lot more armor. At the same time, I'm going to tell him something is up there, so pay attention to that. And I'm going to see if he pushes this. If he pushes this, that's what I was thinking. If he pushes this, I'll push with him, but I'm already turning to take a different route. And he's not pushing it. See, he's backing off. And since he's backing up, I know we cannot push it that way, because Borsig is just going to slaughter us. So now I was thinking crossing to the right side over here, but then Borsig might have better line of sight. And also, enough view range in order to spot me there. So I decided to go all the way around. And sometimes that's the best approach, guys. Don't be a hero. Don't try to take shortcuts. If you really want to win the game, play the game right. So we're going to go all the way around using E-line. We're going to try to get to the 0 line and go up the 0 line. I was also worried about here getting spotted because who knows. Borsig probably would have spotted me here. So he must have backed off a little. And if he did spot me here, I would probably just take one hit, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm still full health. I can sacrifice some of my HP. So that was the thinking process here anyway. We told our T28 Proto what we're doing, so he should anticipate what we're doing. And he's playing it good, man. I gotta give it to my Proto. He played a fantastic game. He was not pushing in. He was waiting for me to make my move and see if I spot anyone. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come all the way around. Gonna try to catch Borsig napping. And hopefully if we put the first shell into him, we can out DPM him. Even though DPM of this tank is not the greatest, it is still, what, 6-second reload that I have on this tank. It's still pretty good. So anyway, let's poke around this corner, see what's happening here. This is gonna be the crucial one because like we should be able to spot something here. We don't spot anything, so we're gonna keep moving forward. What about around this rock? This would be interesting right here. Can we spot anything here? Oh, the Artie's here. And Artie is looking at us. See? That's very smart play by Artie, because if he hit the right spot on my tank, who knows? He could have probably drawn a lot more damage than he did. He could have easily taken me out of the game. But because he already shot, he overcommitted now, so we should be able to take him out of the game. And we do. Now the question is, where is the Borsig? I'm really worried about that right now. He's nowhere near the Artie though. So we're going to try to find him. There he is. We put a tracking shot into him. But he repairs quickly. And instead of pushing here, I backed off because I thought maybe he was going to miss his shot, but he did not. And because of that, I can't really push him anymore because next shell he puts into me, he can easily take me out of the game. So I have to play it cautious now. So I gave this pretty much to my Proto to finish him off. I could have risked it, to be honest, because Proto was still full health, but I didn't want to die at the end of the day. Besides, we had a good game. Fantastic result in this tank. We finished on top of the team with 4.5k damage, 2104 base XP. Incredible game in this tank. I do enjoy it. We play a lot of games in it, but in today's matchmaking, and especially shitty matchmaking at tier 10 and those big guns, I think tier 7 tanks will become a lot more popular nowadays. They have to be, because you're not facing tier 10s. Max you can face is tier 9s, and then if you have a good enough gun at tier 7, you can definitely deal damage at tier 8, which is not as scary. Anyway, we finished on top of the team. We had 295 assisted damage, but it wasn't about assisted damage. We're mostly damage dealer in this game. Looking at the performance report, we fired 34 shells, we had 21 penetrations and 9 critical hits. Anyway guys, at this point I want to wish you Happy New Year. I hope this new year will bring you joy and happiness and is better than last year. Always looking at things positive, guys. Let's hope the next year is better than last year. Even though this year for me was kind of ass, but especially with me getting sick over Christmas. Didn't have a drop of alcohol, which is absolutely horrible. Anyway, I'm hoping that I can get well enough so I can at least enjoy a glass of champagne on New Year's Eve. Anyway guys, all the best. I don't know when the next video will come, but once I got it myself, then maybe finally I'll be able to get more content for you guys. In the meantime, all the best. Until next time, happy tanking. Space Bandit, check it out.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriffssteiger war Befehl! Jeder hat mit der Logik sogar geöffnet! Die gesamten General State in 2000 niederträchtige, treuloser Feigling! Nicht Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager! Die letzten Generale, weil sie Jahre auf Militärakademie zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man besser